Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when
all right, as always, Dolphins number one, baby!
So fins up to all you guys. Thank you for doing
I just want everybody to remember, we may not always agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on, is we are all Dolphin fans. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me tonight is the one and only Dolphins Thirsty, a.k.a. Rob Mosley. And we have a special guest tonight, the one and only Finn Stanza. Thank you for joining us tonight, Finn Stanza.
I love you both. Yeah, I had to jump on Real Talk Fins Talk. I've been talking the Real Talk Fins Talk the last few weeks.
Have.
And I miss my warm and fuzzy Steve Malloy, so I had to join.
Okay, great.
And Bandwagon, we've taken a little, honestly, I've taken a little side hustle. I let Hank host the last couple of weeks because Bobby's been a little busy. So Bandwagon's been in the shop a little bit because we haven't trusted our Dolphins too much. Right. So might as well do some Real Talk today.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ray Finkel.
Yeah,
he says my three favorite people on the earth. We love the love, Ray Finkel.
Oh wait, cool story that Hank got to meet him at the game.
Oh yeah, I did hear Hank say that story that he got to meet him. So that is
nice.
Cool.
Nice. Well, before we get started, guys, I just want us to all remember, right? I want you all to remember, we may not always agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on. We are all Dolphins.
That we are.
And I would like to also introduce one of our newest partners with the Fins Talk Sports Network, and that's Caneswear. And you can see they're located in 2655 South University Drive, Davie, Florida. Or you can visit their website, caneswear.com, to get all your Dolphins gear, any type of gear that for your local teams down there in South Florida. And if you're not in South Florida, you can go to their website and get your merchandise there. Also, we have another partner, and we partnered up with the greatest show on surf. And you can also go online, order any of those t-shirts or mugs, any of that kind of apparel, and just buy it and put it on, wear it in the house when you go out in public, and I'm sure people will see that and will definitely recognize their apparel. The greatest show on surf.
Do you mean we not always agree with Evan? Yeah, basically that's the disclaimer. That's a good one, Mr.
One in those, don't agree with me.
No, actually, Evan has I think he's come over here on the dark side. He's joined us over here on the dark side.
Only on certain elements.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about the last game with the New York Jets. We definitely beat them down in Hard Rock Stadium, 30-0. It was a great display on both sides of the ball. I'm really happy with the way that McDaniel adjusted, and the way that he did that was he had to go back 2-step, 3-step drop. But as opposed to throwing it in the middle of the field or down the field, with the exception of that one dime to Jalen Waddle, everything was under 2, 3, 4 yards. He was throwing the ball, getting it off quick. And I think that was a great adjustment as opposed to when they played the Tennessee Titans. So I'm just going to go down the line here, and I'm going to ask you first, since you're the guest tonight, Evan. What did you think about the adjustment in Mike McDaniel, since you've been harping on him for a while now? What did you think about those adjustments, about how they played, and all that?
I think the greatest gift to happen to Mike McDaniel was Tyreek Hill not playing, because it forced him to realize that he has other weapons on that team. He could spread the ball around. He can utilize the running game. Like, I was so proud, and I'm going to talk about that in 1 minute after about Marissa and why I'm wearing this beanie. But when they got into the red zone and it didn't work the first 2 times running, I'm sure all of us here, including everyone else, Dahl, Marissa, Bobby, thought that he was going to go throw a fade or throw the ball. The fact that he kept it with Mostert, that at that moment I said, Mike McDaniel is growing as a coach, because he knew the defense that he had. Because after that strip sack on how Chubb was playing, he knew all he had to do was get 7, and Fangio was going to shut the door down. And the fact that you said that was a banged up offensive line, Tua got the ball out quick. He didn't overthink it. And he just got, I just enjoyed the play calling. And when there was a deep play, I love the fact that he went down to Waddle. It wasn't another player. Like last week, it was A-Chain. I like the growth on how they were doing it. The only element of his game, which I don't love, which I'm sure, I don't know if you agree or disagree, but it's my biggest pet peeve because it's actually hurt us when he does it with Tyreek, is the screen passes. Because I think you'll agree with me here, Steve, that Tua is a platform thrower, and he needs to step in. When he doesn't step in and he's like this and he just throws, he's not accurate. And that's when he's not accurate, and the ball looks like a floater. And it's not as pinpoint accuracy the way he does when he has a chance to step in the pocket, has the pocket presence, and looks down the field. When he's like this, he doesn't have that same confidence, I feel. It's sort of like, Rob, you'll appreciate this. You know, like when someone's playing third base, that throw to second base on the double play, they feel more comfortable throwing on a straight line to first versus throwing to the second baseman to get that double play. It's always tough. Like, you've ever noticed a shortstop, they always underhand it because it's an easier play. To throw it overhand, you could miss it because you're not in your set position. Yep. But I love the growth of Mike McDaniel, and I think he knew that the defense was going to make it very easy for him in that game. Like, I made the joke that Zach Wilson didn't go into concussion protocol. He went into sissy protocol. He couldn't wait to go into the locker room. I'm telling you. No, Mike McDaniel did the right thing. He did the smart thing. He spread the ball around. 8 receivers got the ball. I don't even care if the yards per carry was under 3 yards. He ran the ball when he needed to run the ball.
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree, Evan. I want to welcome everybody in here tonight in the chat. We got Ben is in here. We got Marissa Moreno. Thank you for joining us tonight. We got well, she has here the doll. It's Dolphin Doll Fan 72's in here. Yeah. Appreciate you joining us tonight. And in fact, her and I were just talking about that on the pregame show on Dolphins Thirsty YouTube channel the other day. Miami's got to run the ball, run. And honestly, Evan, I agree with you 100%. I don't care if he was getting 1 yard or 10 yards. Just keep pounding that rock, and keeping that defense honest. And he stuck with it. And they weren't getting a lot. They weren't getting a lot of yards, but he stuck with it. So I got to give him credit for that. And the short passes and Tua's just he's very good at the dinking and dunking. He is. He really is. He's a master at that. Rob, your take, buddy.
Hey, it was a great game. Really very, very little to nitpick on this game. I liked it all the way around. We did everything we had to do. Jason Sanders, Evan, and Jason Sanders hit the field goals, and that's great. The defense played obviously well. I mean, yes, people say it just against the New York Jets, but they went out there. The Jets just put up 30 in the second half of a game last week. This week, they put 0 up the whole game against our Miami Dolphins. So what more can you say? And the offense, they were efficient. They just did what they had to do. We had the one sexy play, I like to call it, to the deep ball to Waddle, but everything else was just efficient football. Move the ball, keep the clock moving. We didn't even have the biggest yards per carry like we had all season. It was our less yards per carry each, but we just stuck with it. We pounded it. After getting that fumble on the 1 yard line, we ran it on first down, got stuffed. Ran it on second down, got stuffed. Lo and behold, we ran it on third down. Mostert took it to the record of the Miami Dolphins single season, gave us that 7-0 lead, and we never looked back after that. So what more can you say? It was a great game. It was fun to be there with my 2 sons. It was awesome.
Did you wear your lucky t-shirt?
I did, but I still pulled off the cheat because I got that new AJ Dewey throwback jersey. So I wore the lucky shirt, but then the AJ Dewey shirt under it. That way I knew I wasn't jinxing anything. So, it was
Excellent.
good.
Excellent. Hey, yeah, and you're right, Rob. Let's give kudos to Raheem Mostert. He's got the record for the most touchdowns as total of 20, and he has 18 running the ball and 2 receiving the ball. So let's give kudos to him. Let's give thanks to him. He's had a great season. And he's an older guy. He wasn't supposed to do this, right? And here he is, the leading in touchdowns. Actually, I think he's tied with McCaffrey of the 49ers.
Yeah, but McCaffrey only has, I think, 13 rushing and 7 receiving.
Right.
The great part about Mostert is the fact that the greatest thing is that he has, I think, more touchdowns, or is tied compared to like 7 or 8 other teams. The Jets have 13 total touchdowns all season.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's crazy.
And then when you factor that Achane and the limited actions he's had this year, he's up there
7.
like 9, 7 or 9. Yeah, 7 rushing and I think 2 receiving or something like that. So something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he's been putting up the TDs awesomely this year. I think it's 7 rushing, something like that.
Right. And also, just to make mention, there is some news. There's some roster moves the Dolphins made today. They let go Pierre Paul. He was here for
Bishop Pierre Paul.
Yeah.
Or JPP.
Yep, and we activated Chris Brooks. So I'm really happy to see that. We're going to need him here in the going down the stretch here. We're definitely going to need him. So I'm very it's going to be interesting to see what he has to offer to this offense. How do you feel about that, Rob?
No, I think it's good, because we all want to run that ball, pound that ball, and he's a bigger back, stronger back, young guy. He has some wheels too, not as fast as of course the Mostert Achane, but he can get the job done. So I like it. He's good on special teams, evidently too. So that's an improvement. You get there. He's going to bring more to the football than JPP playing behind all the guys he was playing. So he's going to be, because JPP wasn't going to run down there on special teams at this stage in his career. So Brooks brings that element and brings a little more rough-nosed football to the team that we all claim we want in December and January. So it made a smart move. And we still got, Ingram in our back pocket and Cameron Good in the back pocket, all that. So we're okay. We're doing fine moving forward. So, it was an expendable move. He's probably not happy. He's like, really? I moved back down here and you're already booting me out the door? But hey, that's football. It's a business. And these guys know at the end of the day how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Evan? How do you feel about that?
It doesn't bother me much because we know how Mike McDaniel and Vic Fangio work. They use the players they trust, because that's why you don't see much of Cam Smith. You don't see much of Channing Tindall, but you see some Cameron Good. Like Cameron Good has actually proven his worth this year. Like you actually hear his name. Ogba, you hear his name. You hear Brandon Jones. You hear Nick Needham. You hear you saw Ethan Bonner before you saw Cam Smith.
Cam Smith evidently got hurt during warm-up.
Yeah, he got hurt sleeping on the bench. He got hurt. Honestly, come on,
Evan. You said you were going to tell us your beanie reason. So
okay, I'm wearing the beanie. I was going to say it, but I want to just talk about Marissa for a second, because if anybody who's on Twitter, on X, she did a video yesterday about the beanie, and she's been getting a little bit, and there was something called Beaniegate. Marissa was on the show with myself and Bobby last week. Her and I agree on a lot. She is one of the nicest, sweetest, up-and-coming people. Dolphin fans. I just watched Dolphins Talk. We're all a family here. She's part of that network. Her dad, Steve, told all these amazing stories. She's a wonderful person, a great person. No one should be attacked for anything. Beanie, you want to know, if it wasn't for this beanie, which was made in Canada, I'd freeze up in Montreal. These are cool things to wear. We should all be rocking them. So for the next little while, for every podcast I could do, I'm pulling off this beanie. And go, Marissa. Congrats. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. You're super cool. And we need more females on this network. Trust me. I told Bobby on the post-game show, the only reason I'm here tonight, Bobby, is for Doll and for Courtney, not for you. You're just You're just there to ask us questions.
Well, Courtney wants no Cam Smith slander, Evan. So,
don't invite for Manny. Manny's
invited.
Manny, you're always
Manny,
invited.
you want to come?
Man.
We'll drop the link.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, on Thursday night, I might be out, but I cannot. Who's producing that show Thursday? Is you doing it on this network or are you doing it on yours?
I'm doing it on mine, but Marissa, it's Doll's show, who's Courtney, Doll Fan 72. It's her show. She's having Marissa as a host.
That's
My
awesome.
ugly mug won't be on there. Just going to be and we're trying to get more ladies, trying to get Miss Finns and a whole bunch of people.
Bob, by the way, you would not be amazed. Even when I was there at the game in Carolina, we have to give credit to every single one of our fans, because if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, it doesn't matter if you're female, male, they know just as much as we do. Honestly, we're an inclusive group. This community doesn't matter what network you're on. To have Courtney on here, to have Marissa, to have Miss Finns, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is. Like, to put up with our ugly mugs. Come on,
I agree.
We honestly, like, it's a pleasure to be able to talk about it. It's just,
and I dropped the link, Evan, for Manny or whoever happens.
But no, I can't wait to watch that show on Thursday. They're both great. Honestly, they know so much about football, and it's just such a pleasure to hear them talk. We need more inclusiveness, and I guarantee you, the Thirsty subscriber level will grow on that night.
Yep, there you go.
Excellent.
I hope so, because Courtney does bring her A game every single time on our shows. And we know Marissa's going to bring her A game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, to answer that question, Manny, he asked me, Steve, when will the Tua slander? It's not slander. It's the truth. I'm just.
Can I?
Tua. That's up to Tua.
I'm going to save you.
Hold on.
Save you right now. I'm going to save you. I'm going to save you. I'm going to protect you.
Okay.
I got your blind side, Steve.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tuanon over here. Okay,
there you go.
Tuanon over here. The day he was drafted, I bought his jersey. Steve once said he's a one-read quarterback. He's not wrong, because he sees what he sees and he panics. The difference here is that's why he got the ball out quick. Tua does not like to manufacture. He likes to see what he likes to see, and he anticipates. Can he manufacture in the moment? Yeah, and he has to. Yes, once in a while, that's the job of a quarterback. But his bread and butter, and what he focuses on and what his end goal is to focus on the one read. If you look at the three losses, whether it was the Bills game, the Chiefs game, or the Eagles game, the way he quarterbacks, he sometimes quarterbacks like a robot. Is he a great guy? Is he a great quarterback? Yes, but he plays like a robot. And if Mike McDaniel tells him to turn left, he's going to turn left. If you tell him to turn right, and that he follows the script. He's a scripted quarterback. Sometimes you have to go off script, sure, but he is a scripted quarterback. But that's not a bad thing. A lot of quarterbacks have won Super Bowls with a script.
Yeah. But with that said, even Omar Kelly, who's a harsh critic, according to most Dolphin fans, he says Tua looks off people better than a lot of people in the NFL, how he looks. Even if it's a one read, the way he looks out, and it makes it hard to know what the one read. So they're saying he is very good at looking one way and then all of a sudden turning his head, throwing to a completely different guy. So he says he's like next level on that. And coming from Omar Kelly, that's a big compliment.
No, absolutely. I agree 100%. And I want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat tonight. I see Scotty's in there. My man, Scotty, I appreciate you, brother. We got Matthew.
What you're watching?
Matthew.
I'm watching football.
Matthew Murphy's in here. Appreciate you joining us. Miss Finns is in here. Thank you for joining us tonight, Miss Finns. If you all are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're not new, and just don't forget to hit that like button. It's free. So hit that like button. I appreciate that. But going back to Tua, I'm a little hard on Tua, of course. But the only way that he's going to change my mind is with these next 3 games. If, show me the money. I said this last year. Show me the money, Tua. If you can show me the money in these next 3 games, then I'll change my mind. But going back to what Omar Kelly said, Tua is really good at reading off the linebackers and stuff like that, manipulating them. He's really good at that. And as Evan said, there's nothing wrong with being a one read quarterback if the one read is open, right? And so far, the one read is always open most of the time. So there's nothing wrong with that. And throwing to a spot.
You just did a Yogi Berra right there. Always open most of the time.
Yeah, there you go. But even when I say spot throwing, he is a spot thrower. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. I mean, everybody takes that the wrong way. Like I'm making.
I gave you a big hug when I saw you.
No, I know.
No, anyway, guys, I dropped the link again if you guys want to join. Okay. I'm hoping Miss Ben is able to join Thursday night over on my channel with Courtney and Marissa. It would be a great show if we could get her on there too. But anyway, guys, if you want to join tonight, the link has been dropped.
I'm rip a new one to me and Steve. By the way, all I'm going to say is that between Brett sending me 50 text messages every hour or Scotty telling me I can't refilm, I watch the All-22. What I'm saying is when I watch Tua, I find him very robotic. I love him. When he's quick throwing, when he has to think, the only thing I'll give him credit for is, man, that jiu-jitsu is working. Did you see when he almost got hit? He did the perfect somersault. Did you see that Thursday at the game? He did a perfect somersault. It was phenomenal.
Evan, I hate to tell you, but I can do that.
You could do that?
I can do that.
I can't. Honestly, if I did that, I'd be in traction.
I would be too.
No, I'm only kidding. I can't do that.
That was amazing, eh?
I'm only kidding. I can't do that. But I do have to commend, and that's another thing. I wanted to commend Tua on his health this year. I mean, he's been healthy. He definitely, when I saw him in person here in Houston, he looked really fit. And he looked like he put on a few pounds, and it wasn't a dad bod. I mean, he really looked like he's been taking care of himself, trying to get stronger, and it shows. And whether I agree with the jiu-jitsu or not, whatever he did, it's working, because he's held his own. And in fact, I think he's like, isn't he the only quarterback standing, it seems like, this year?
Oh my God. On Dolphins Talk, before we were actually talking,
I'm saying don't jinx it.
And I said, don't jinx it. And then the host, Mike, starts jinxing it. And Thursday goes, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Don't jinx it, guys. Let's just say, by
the way, but that's how he's going to stay healthy, though, by the way.
I took the Austin Jackson jinx. I just last week, I remember on our show, Steve saying the one guy that hasn't been hurt this year, Austin Jackson. And then lo and behold, he went. And so I'm never opening my big mouth again about who hasn't got.
That's how he's going to. By the way, and someone made a comment, I believe, on the previous show. Yes, on the other show we were watching earlier about Tua, where part of what's they were saying how they would rather have him under center more. I actually wouldn't, because I actually think the fact that he can actually read the play a little bit more in the shotgun actually gives him more time to get that quick read and that quick throw. If he has to turn his back to the play to hand the ball off or to do play action, I feel one day he's going to get walloped. The fact that he's in shotgun and the fact that he just has to turn quickly and throw, I think is better for his health. I don't know about you, Steve, but that's what I think.
Yeah, it is. It is. No doubt. And not to get off the topic of Tua, but I do want to say he has played better than my expectations this year. He's really, really playing good. And to be quite frank, I'm going to say it. He's playing at the elite level. He's playing at the elite level for sure. Hey, look, like I said, I'm gonna call it like I see it. And he's playing like elite level. There's no doubt.
Except in short yardage, you're still not there yet.
Well, he's still playing at elite level.
I'm saying the team's biggest.
Yes.
The team's biggest struggle as an offense is short yardage.
No doubt. They need to work on that. They need to do something about that. But
who's Bobby? Feinstock? Who's that?
Who's
Bobby? This guy?
There's no Bobby, man.
Who is this guy?
He made the nice, beautiful logo for Courtney, who's been in the room. I don't know if she's still in the room tonight, but he made that beautiful logo for Courtney's show. He uses
color by numbers, guys. He uses color by numbers.
But it's all funny. Good, man. Yeah. I do the same thing with logos, so I understand. But he made a really good one for her show.
He's phenomenal.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I do. I've got to say, I appreciate Bobby, for allowing me and Rob for this platform, for Real Talk Fins Talk. He does. He's a jack of all trades. He chief cook and bottle washer, and really appreciate him a lot for again giving us
all
this.
Tati.
I don't say that enough. Thank
all
you,
Tati.
Bobby. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank
But
you,
anyway,
thank you, Tati.
and Tati, yes,
Tati's the
yes,
best.
yes, she is. She is. From what I've never met her, but from what I've seen on in the chat and what everyone says, I agree. So let's shift gears a little bit. Let's give some kudos to Bradley Chubb, because I know Dolphin Thirsty over there has been, and myself, we've been really tough on him at the beginning of the year and last year. But he's another one that's playing at elite level right now. He's really, playing beyond my expectations as well. Rob, what is your opinion on that?
Hey, he definitely. And I picked on him just last week against the Titans. I was saying he was a big reason why we lost his knucklehead play. They gave him those extra 4 points, and not even guaranteed a kicker's going to make it. You never know in the NFL, even though they have a good kicker. You never know. So it could be a bat. Anything could happen. But we gave them at least an extra 4 points. So I ripped them as a part of the reason, even though there was 50 reasons to blame that team
I did
loss.
too.
But I did pick on him, and I was fair. This week, he even said it when they interviewed him right there on the field. He goes, last week I made a boneheaded play. I gave a boneheaded penalty that cost the team. So I had to come out here and do what I did. And he went out there. So kudos to him. I always give kudos when kudos are deserved.
Did you see the Bobby Finn's comment there?
Let's see. Has been relieved. Yeah, there you go. I like that. That is good stuff.
How am I going to feed my children?
Organic pressure, mommy. Yep. That is.
I'm going to have to become a latex salesman again.
Yeah, they are second in sacks. Yeah, they're really this defense,
it's not just the defense. It's not just the defense. It's weird that the defense, the offensive line, the turnover battle, the sacks, we're deceivingly good in all facets of the game. It's never apparent. But if you look at the stats, it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And at the beginning of the year, I even said I didn't think a lot of these players were going to be a good fit, or we didn't know that these players were going to be a good fit in this Fangio scheme. Well, shame on me, because they are, and I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm glad I was wrong.
It took a little while, and they got moving. They got doing it, and
absolutely.
That's why the team that we faced in Buffalo, the team that Buffalo faced up there in Buffalo is not the same defense that they're going to see this time around. It's going to be a lot closer when that last final week of the season. Because I know they're all gloating, they're on a great roll, but we're a different football team that went up there that week and played football, is what I believe. So we're going to see. It's going to come down to that game, unfortunately, probably.
It won't. So, it won't.
Yeah.
You think we'll win the next two and clinch the division?
We're not losing another football game.
Thanks for joining,
like
Adam. I see you hook up, Joe. No. Thank you.
They're not losing this football game because they're right now. The Titans game stung, but the Jets game allowed you were able to do that. I didn't think that I actually don't think the Dolphins played a phenomenal football game. They played a smart football game. Because their stars weren't there. They weren't trying to be star-studded. They just wanted to play a proper football game to win in the NFL. A win is a win. To be able to rest Howard, to be able to rest Armstead if he had to be resting. The fact that you rest up Javon Holland, Deshaun Elliott, or Tyreek. Like it matters. Like for me, like you think Chris Brooks coming back, like we're basically resting Chris Brooks and resting Jeff Wilson and Devon Achane. Like there's an element there that's really good. Like that's good to see, right? Like it's nice to see that the star players, we don't need them to win these games. Now this upcoming week, we know what's going to happen. I personally don't. Tyreek has to be on the field. But I need X more. I feel we need X more than we need Holland in this game. I really do, because I really do think that Fangio's the kind of guy where he doesn't like to move his corners around.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't want to do that, someone has to cover CeeDee Lamb. So you need to have one on each side. And personally, we all love Darth Cater, but he, of all people during that game, like Eli Apple played better than Kader Kohou on Sunday. Like Kader Kohou did not look great. He looked okay. He didn't look great in the second game.
Right.
Like Brandon Jones had a good game. Bonner made a nice block. Jalen Ramsey did his job, but Kader Kohu was the one I feel that struggled a little bit the most in the secondary there.
Yeah,
even like true. Elijah Campbell had a great. Even our special teams did well.
Yes, they sure did. Yeah, Elijah Campbell had a solid game as well.
Yeah, he had a pass breakup. Hey, him and Bonner got in there and
he had a good pass breakup.
By the way, I apologize to Jason Sanders. It's no longer him. He didn't cut me off in traffic. It was really Jake Bailey. That guy can't punt. That guy's awful, eh? Holy crap, that guy muffs a punt the game, eh?
Yeah, I know. I think we need to find another punter for next
Thomas Morstead was a good punter.
He was. Yeah. He was. He still is. But let's talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys game we got coming up in Hard Rock Stadium this week. And the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins actually are making history this week. You know how? I'll tell you how. The Cowboys vs. the Dolphins will be the first game in NFL history between teams with 20-plus combined wins, but one or fewer wins vs. teams above 500. Cowboys are 1-3 vs. teams above 500, 9-1 vs. teams 500 or below. The Dolphins are 0-3 vs. teams above 500, 10-1 vs. teams 500 or below.
Yeah,
so we're both going to make history this week in Hard Rock Stadium. Now, at the beginning of the year, I had Miami Dolphins losing to the Cowboys when I saw the schedule. Now, my change of mind isn't because of the game against who they lose to? Dallas. Titans.
Dallas. Who Dallas lose to last week?
Yeah, who did
they lost to Buffalo?
Buffalo. There you go. Okay, man. I had a brain fart.
We say in Canada, Barfalo.
There you go.
The Barfalo Bills.
Yeah, but that's not the reason why I've had to change of mind. When I've looked at this and analyzed it statistically and basically on them making history this week as far as the games won under teams under 500 and over 500 and all that stuff, and then I've watched them play. They're very similar to the Miami Dolphins. Very similar. I think that this game is going to be, as you said earlier, or maybe it was earlier when we were talking, but I think this game's going to be a shootout. I think Miami has the edge. I won't give you my prediction tonight because I'll be on the Dolphins Thirsty YouTube channel this Sunday at 10 a.m. We'll be giving you our predictions, and Rob and I. But I think Miami has the edge. I think they're going to win this game, and I think it's going to be a shootout. And that's my 2 cents on that. Evan, what's yours?
I have a feeling it's going to be a battle of the mix. So which one's going to have to line up to work at McDonald's, McCarthy or McDaniel? But no, it's going to be, honestly, we have the edge in the coaching because we have the experience more. We have Fangio, who's
for sure
more experienced than Quinn, even though Quinn's a great DC, but the man just gave up 266 yards of rushing. It will be, I think it's going to be a lot of points, but I do think the Dolphins will pull away. I do see the Dolphins potentially winning this by 2 touchdowns, but they could be in the 40s and they could be in the late 20s. And not because the defense didn't play well. It's just I think Dak is gonna, with a lot of Cowboy fans, it's the snowbird time of the year. It's Christmas down in South Beach, in Miami Gardens. He's gonna try to go to CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks a lot.
Yep.
And they're trying to make big plays. But what the Dolphins need to do is, if Tyreek's on the field, they're going to try to go deep also. But if you're Mike McDaniel, you should follow the recipe. If A-Chain's able to play, you need to give A-Chain, not Mostert, the James Cook treatment. And you have to give him the ball in space, and you have to let him just go and just run right at him. Because I don't care who Micah Parsons is, he can't catch a speeding bullet that is Devon A-Chain. And I think Mostert's going to have a couple touchdowns a game too. I'll make a prediction here. Raheem Mostert's going to have 25 touchdowns by the end of the season.
Okay.
Honestly, the way he's playing,
man, that would be great. That would be great.
He's gonna have, honestly, the guy's gonna have 25 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's gonna be a lot of points scored. But then I think it's gonna be. But then in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Dolphins are gonna pull away.
Okay.
Because the one thing that the Dolphins have is that they're more disciplined with their star players. Like CeeDee Lamb's a great player, but he's not Tyreek Hill.
No.
Dak Prescott hasn't proven more than Tua yet in his career. I don't care what anybody says. He hasn't proven anything yet. Tony Pollard's not better than Raheem Mostert. Micah Parsons is a phenomenal player, but I think that Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side of the ball is just as good or has proven more than Micah Parsons. The man has a Super Bowl in his back pocket. So I think experience wins. We have more Super Bowl experience on our side of the football and more playoff experience on our side of the football than they do.
Yeah, I agree with Scotty. He's saying that Ramsey should shadow Lamb. I agree with that. Even if
he doesn't move side to side, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's true too.
Fangio curse. That's the one thing with Fangio. He doesn't move his corners.
Right. And I also like the comment, the Hookup Joe. If you want to bring that back up, the Hookup Joe comment there. He says the number 1 scoring beats the number 2 scoring team in the NFL. One would think it would be high scoring, but not with RD. He makes a good point. That very well could happen as well. I could see that. It could be a game of the trenches, right? Because the Dallas Cowboys offensive line has some really good offensive linemen. And then our defense, our front four there is damn good too. So that could be the battle right there, so it could be a very close defensive game as well. So it could go both ways, man. But for me, I see it as a high flying game. That's just my opinion. Rob, how about you? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I like you. I kind of have the Dolphins coming out on top, but we're early. We're only on Tuesday, but right now I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see what we can get back into, what players are coming back.
Right.
But I see it being like a mid in the 20s to the 20s. So that depends what your definition of high scoring is. To me, it's like a 28 to 24 or something like that game with the Dolphins coming out on top.
Well, I think Steve's about to agree with me on this one. I'll make a very easy prediction. Whichever quarterback throws less interceptions, that team wins. Because the one thing about these two quarterbacks is they're going against Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey, Darren Bland, who has 5 pick sixes this year, and Stephon Gilmore.
He's very good.
They're not going after easy corners on either side. These players, these quarterbacks have a tendency to overthink, and these quarterbacks could be the decision making. Where honestly, the quarterback throws the less interceptions, wins the football game.
And you might be right. It might be a game of the quarterbacks, who makes the mistake at quarterback position. You're right. And we know,
they're both prone to interceptions at times. So
yeah. And also Tua has fumbled a few more times than I like to see this year. But
I wish Josh Wingate was in here. He would be debating.
Oh my God, he's not. He's still suffering. Like, I don't care what we've gone through. We have not suffered a loss like that. Even our loss in Buffalo was not that. Because they only scored their first touchdown in like garbage time.
No, he was feeling so cocky too after they beat down on the Eagles. He was like Mr. Cocky in our chat rooms, and then he disappeared after that. So,
by the way,
I invited Josh Wingate in here, but he didn't.
But
let's
what
see
do you
what
guys honestly
said. If X doesn't play, I'll be worried that linebackers struggle. Yes, that is true on that.
Let me ask you guys a question, Steve. Who's more valuable to this defense on Sunday, X or Javon? Who do you want more on the field?
I want to see Javon Holland on the field. Okay. That's how I want to see on the field.
I know your reasoning behind
X is not having a very good year this year.
I know your reasoning behind
really
X.
Dahl may not forgive you. By the way, I trapped you there because you know who Courtney's favorite player is, right?
Yeah, X.
but
I still rather see Holland there. He's playing at a very, very high level this year, all pro level, no doubt.
It's funny. After the game, we're walking, and then there, Evan, I don't know if you've been to the training facility, but it's right there.
Oh yeah, I've been to training camp multiple times.
Okay, so it's right there so the injured players, they were pulling in, and then my son says, "Hey, Dad," because he had his role. It was Javon Holland, and he was pulling into where the Dolphins train after the game.
Oh, wow!
I guess they were going to wait for the players that played to get all cleaned up and go over to the team's training facility. So my son, I don't hardly recognize any. So he goes, "Hey, Javon," and Javon goes like this and beeps his horn and goes. So, like a piece. I can't do the piece, whatever. So they thought that made their day. We won. And then they said, "Oh my God." I went in. I just saw this guy pulling into the parking lot. They're like, "That's Javon Holland." So they both said it. And he responded with a little beep, beep, beep. So,
hey, Rob, can you bring up Scotty's comment there on Long and Riley? You'll see it there. It's above Dahl. Yeah, that one. He says, Long and Riley playing together, a really good pair. Long is better with Riley. You know what? Let me. I know a lot of folks, and I know Scotty especially doesn't like the PFF grades, but I do. I like to go by the PFF grades. And once I give you these grades, I think Scotty's going to agree. The highest PFF grades for this week with the Miami Dolphins were, number 1, Bradley Chubb. He had a 94.0, which is elite level. Okay. And I think total, if you go back and look at his PFF grade for the whole year, it's right up there around 89, 90, elite level. Jalen Waddle had a really good game. He was 92.8. Terran Armstead, surprisingly, 83. Of course, that's prop normal for him, 83. And you know who was the highest on the defense? Besides next under Chubb?
Duke Riley, you're going to say.
Duke Riley. Duke Riley had a 90.9 PFF grade this week. I've been talking about this guy all year. Duke Riley is a very good utility player. He's good on special teams. He's very fast. He's all over the place on that.
Not in coverage.
Steve, but you're fast, but you can't run away from Courtney's.
Him and Baker.
And Howard.
Him and Baker.
You're slander for X, Steve.
Him and Baker.
Huh?
Him and Baker. The parting of the Red Sea when they have to go blocking coverage.
No, I agree. And Brandon Jones, for that matter. Although Brandon Jones had a good game. But anyway,
drop that 4th down pass to Brandon Jones. You're supposed to knock that down.
I know. And then also, the third highest grade that was on defense was our favorite player, AVG Broken Nose, 86.7. So he had a really, really good game as well.
He's a baller, old school football man.
Every game he's a baller. Every game. And when he's on the field, the Dolphins win 70% of their games when they're on the field. 78 or 80%. I don't remember what it was now. Of their games.
Papa Hog, I don't know if you're new to the channel, but if you are, you're new to our show, hit that subscribe button and the fin sub. We try to bring good fun Miami Dolphins stuff. Let's see. Evan, you're wrong about Riley and coverage.
What's Scotty's problem with me? I see things differently than him.
That's it. Well, you and Scotty should have a show together one day.
It's very good when you're typing it. Come on my show. Let's have a chat. Challenge me.
Yes, Scotty, go on Evan's show, or you're welcome on my channel, as you know, Scotty. He's one of my favorites coming into the room. It's fun seeing 2 of my favorites go at it. But it'd be fun to see Scotty and Evan have a debate on the show. So, there you go, Steve. Sorry, I didn't. I know. Are you done with PFF grades? I'm sorry.
No, I'm done. Go ahead, Rob. What were you going to say?
No, that was it. I just wanted to try to get caught up with all the chats in here in case. I know Hooked Up Joe said it's good to have Armstead back. So what's the?
Absolutely good to have Armstead back. I don't know how far. Have you heard anything more on Hunt? Is he a no-go, you think, this week?
He's not mentioned it. He didn't rule him out, but he definitely didn't seem McDaniel didn't rule him out, but he seemed to think he's still more of a week-to-week process. He seemed a little more positive on Tyreek Hill returning. And, for all of you that showed the video from Steve, that was cool that you found. I mean, someone else put it out there, but you found it. about Hill's agent, because there was talk about, oh, it's the team that didn't want to play, but Hill didn't want to play. So that was good. So hopefully he's just more or less ready. I think he'd be ready. I think it was just out of abundance of precaution that they kept him out, thinking we could probably beat the Jets. They would never say that publicly, but I think they just felt like we were going to beat the Jets with or without Hill, and lo and behold, they were right.
Yeah, for sure. Papa Hog, thank you. Appreciate you, brother, for joining us tonight. Definitely appreciate all of you that are in here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and share this with your friends, your families, your neighbors. So I appreciate you all for joining us tonight. We couldn't do this show without you. I think we're going to be calling tonight here, Rob and Evan. Evan, I appreciate you joining us tonight, brother.
You're my family. You're my family.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy talking with you. We may not always agree on everything, but Miami Dolphins. But there's one thing we can agree on.
Well,
we are Dolphins.
Yeah, and let me get one more.
A lot more now.
And there's one thing that we can all agree on, that Miss Finns puts on a great show every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Right there, her name, Miss Finns. Make sure you find her. And then Dolphins Thirsty follows her up normally at 10 a.m.
I was honestly, when I met her in October, she's as advertised.
Yeah, I only got to meet her for a couple minutes because I had to get out because my parking meter is about to expire, and I didn't want to give Broward County extra money from me that I already paid them every year in taxes. So I ran out and beat the parking meter. So it was fun, though, meeting her quick there.
I was treating everybody to dinner except Steve Malloy.
I'm still waiting on my Timex watch.
Well,
I know, eh?
Next fan day weekend, Steve.
By the way, have you noticed?
I'm just kidding, man.
By the way, his time management's been much better this year.
It has been. It has been a lot better.
I'm waiting for Boxing Day to buy my Jason Sanders jersey. The price doesn't want to come down in Canada.
Gotcha. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, Rob, thank you again for being a great co-host on Real Talk Fins Talk, and I will be your co-host on the pregame show this Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah.
We're going to give our predictions then. And Evan, when is your next show, and where can people find you?
I'm not sure. I'm not going to take, honestly, if you guys are doing a show on Thursday night, I have to talk to Bobby afterwards. Bandwagon will happen only if Fins Talk Today doesn't require my services. So because for me to see a double dose of me and Hank talking about the same thing twice, it doesn't 2 days apart doesn't make a lot of sense. But you'll either see me probably Friday or Saturday, only to give because I honestly want to watch Courtney and Marissa, and
so do I.
Spread flowers to them, so I will not take away their thunder.
Well, thank you very much.
And you guys all need to be wearing. You guys should all purchase beanies.
Well, we know Marissa has one. I don't know about Courtney. I'm not going to be there, so you don't got to worry about me.
No, but I'll send you a beanie. Everyone gets a beanie. Canadians wear beanies.
Oh, there you go.
All right, there you go.
Doesn't it get cold in Texas?
Walking around South Florida.
Doesn't it get cold? Excuse me. You don't
cold
realize
in Texas.
By the way,
what do you mean? What do you mean cold? What do you consider
cold enough to wear a beanie?
For me, yes.
But it hits 60 here in South Florida today.
Trust me, thirsty. There are people at the games in 90 degrees who wear this.
Oh, I know. I'm just teasing. I see them all the time.
Evan,
style.
Evan,
hey, but I just want to say something to you, Joe. You guys make it great for coming into these shows to give us someone to talk to. So, Joe, thank you for coming in. You're a team member, not a subscriber on these channels.
Absolutely.
Steve, what do you want to say?
We can't do this show without you folks. Yeah, Evan, I was going to say anything below 70 degrees, I'm cold.
Hey, you got South Florida mentality, Steve, because Houston gets some cold
here.
It's in my
30
blood,
degrees here. It's 30 degrees.
Yeah,
listen, it went a little under 70, Miss Vince and I probably said today. So, for us, that's getting cool, so, I'm
telling you, Thirsty, you should have bought tickets for Christmas Eve and scalped these things. People are going to make a mint.
No, they're going for like $300. I heard some talk among the ticket people though that
it's going to go for $1,000. They're going to go for a $500-$600 up in the 300s. It's going to go for $400-$500 a ticket.
Yeah, they're already at $300 a ticket in there, so forget it. I'm going to stay home on Christmas Eve, and that's it. I went to my last game this week.
You're going to the Bills game?
I'm on the. I might not, honestly, but the tickets
You
are
have
really
to go to
expensive.
the
He's
Bills
going.
game.
He's going. He's going.
Yeah,
to the Bills
we'll
game.
see. Hey,
He's
honey,
going.
I will see. But I do have
All
my
right.
deposit in for season tickets next year, so we will see. I'm on the waiting list, so we will see.
How many tickets?
Just 2, so I can road.
How do you decide if you're taking your wife or your son?
Oh, my wife rather me and the son go. It gets us out of the house, and we don't have to yell and scream, and it's like her little mini vacation. Because we're not as bad when we come home after the state. This year, though, every game we went to, we won. So I don't want to run the streak anymore. I just want to have an undefeated Rob Mosley, Dolphin Thirsty, and attendance record. So we'll see. Because the Buffalo tickets are all over $200 a pop, too. I mean, I know Miss
Wait a
Finn said
second.
she was going to try to get there. Hey, Cap, you got here at the end, but if you can
So you're
cap
telling
that,
me-
big thumbs up.
So you're telling me if you would have been at the Titans game, we wouldn't have lost?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm happy. That was a big decision because we were debating because those were.
It's all Thirsty's fault.
Yeah, exactly. No, we would have lost, and I'm happy I didn't go, leaving a late night.
By the
game.
way, I hope it keeps it. Let's just make one thing about the Baltimore game coming up. Let's hope and pray they don't flex that. Because if they have to put Miami in prime time at night on New Year's Eve in Baltimore,
Oh yeah,
forget that.
that would suck.
That would suck.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
No flexing the Dolphins, please. Leave
gotta
them where
get
they
going,
are
guys.
for the rest of the year.
We got to get going, guys. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. And remember,
Dolphins,
Dolphins
number one.
number one, baby.
Dolphins, Steve got me
Dolphins
caught.
number